primary food will be broadcast to the animals. Now, you may have mentioned, remember how we mentioned the jacks being the more aggressive than the feeders in here. You can really see why. They're really going at it right now. We're going to come back to the jacks in just a second. So the area, those two columns of white, that's where the food will start raining in. But folks, there is something I need to emphasize at this time. Please do not be disappointed if we don't see the sharks eat today. Therein lies probably one of the biggest misconceptions people have about the sharks, is that they're always hungry. They're always on the lookout for food. Truthfully, even though by state requirement we do have to present these animals with food every day, your average reef shark, like these guys here, they only eat about once a week to once every 2 weeks, give or take. Really big sharks, like tiger sharks, there she is now, great whites and the great hammerheads eat once every 2 to 5 months. Half the time we drop food in here and they just pretend it's not even there. But even though we'll keep our eyes on the surface, and maybe we'll get to see some feeding today. But this does bring me now to a very important point. Shark attack. Shark attack. No two words seem to freak out our visitors more than those two words do. Who here would like to know how to avoid a shark attack?
Don't go in the water.
Down the water. There are actually 4 biological rules to remember that will help you avoid aggressive contact with sharks in the wild. But before I mention these rules, I should stress for the record right now, you do not have to use these rules all the time. Shark bites, especially in Hawaii, very rare. In fact, some of you might have heard me talking about it earlier. More people have been killed here in the Hawaiian Islands by falling coconuts than by shark bites. That's not a joke, it's an actual statistical fact. But in fact, in the United States, more people are killed every year by falling over soda and snack machines than by shark attack. Not enough people read those do not filter rock labels, that's why. But you can see the first of the squids falling in, and of course there's spotted eagle rays the first to take notice of it. Seeing the biggest pig we have in the tank, there she goes now. But rule number 1, never go into the water alone. Good idea for water safety, but sharks stay away from heavily populated areas. Can I please get a show of hands? Who here has been to Waikiki yet? Anybody? See, quite a few of you have. Those of you who have not yet gone, those of you who have gone, you can back me up on this. That's the most crowded place in Hawaii, isn't it? Traffic on the nearby roadside, jet skis and motorboats in the water, loud music blasting on the beach. That's the problem. The noise. Sound is amplified about 10 times louder and moves 5 times faster underwater than it does on land. Sharks have hearing that's so sensitive, they can hear sounds from over 7 kilometers away. Rule number 2, avoid the water at sunrise, sunset, and late evening hours. I know it might be tempting for some of you couples to try and recreate that romantic ocean sunset love scene from that Blue Lagoon movie, but please don't. Sharks are nocturnal animals, and even though we're trying to offer them the food right now, they are in a relative state of dormancy right now. They're not really sleeping, but they are sitting around with their brains half shut off, like most of our staff does around here. So come about 6 o'clock tonight, that will change dramatically. Then they'll be chasing after the fish, they'll be chasing after each other, and as we might just be lucky enough to see, the fish do chase the sharks around, particularly those jacks that Leslie was alluding to earlier. We've actually had problems with them beating up the sharks and stealing their food during these feeds. Watch what happens in particular. You can see the gray reef took interest in something there. But watch what happens in particular should the hammerheads get hold of something. Usually as soon as they do, the jacks are chasing them around. There you can see the jacks are chasing around the gray reef right now, and they start whacking at them. Now the reason why the jacks do this is because these jacks, they want what the sharks are getting. But the size of the food they can drop in for the sharks, it's too big for the jacks to handle. The jacks have figured out if they let the sharks pick it up first, the shark will shake it into smaller pieces in his mouth. And then before he can swallow it, the jacks move in, beat him up, and then yank the food out of his mouth. So in short, make the shark do all the work for you.
Which one are the jacks?
These big silvery fish. A lot of people mistake these guys for tuna, but they're actually the biggest members of the mackerel family, capable of reaching up to 9 feet long, weighing in at over 200 pounds. The ones we have in here are just small fries. Rule number 3. Avoid the water if there's just been a heavy rainstorm, if there's a trash dump nearby, if the water itself is clouded and murky, or if there's a freshwater stream dumping out into the ocean. Now, why would this be a factor in shark attack? Folks, did you notice all the food we dropped in was dead? None of it was living. All of it was prepared in our kitchen. Contrary to what we see on TV and in the movies, sharks do not like to hunt. They are primarily scavengers. They would rather eat dead animals that we dropped in here than waste valuable energy chasing down and killing something that is alive. And a lot of the shark's food source takes the form of dead and rotting carcasses that wash into the ocean from rainstorms, rivers, trash dumps. And to that end, folks, you got to remember, sharks live by the same saying that we live by at the University of Hawaii. Hard work pays off eventually, laziness pays off right now. So why waste your time and energy chasing down and killing something? We can just pick up something that's already dead. But the end result of that scavenging behavior, we find some really weird stuff in shark stomachs. I'll give you the case of a 20-foot-long tiger shark. It was longer than these two viewports put together. Biggest tiger shark I've ever seen before or since, washed ashore dead on our neighbor island of Molokai. Now, because it was such a big shark, we had to take it to the university's autopsy area, and just to make sure nobody had killed it. Turns out that shark had just died of a parasitic gill infection. But when we opened up his stomach, we pulled out of his stomach 2 turtle shells, half of another shark, 12 feet of anchor chain, a 13-inch TV screen, a car battery, chicken coop wire, blanket void, tin cans, bottles, the hind leg of a mule, and 2 lost articles of lingerie. Don't ask. No, I cannot tell you what those last 2 items were, but I can tell you they were immediately mounted on my professor's office wall. Other things found in shark stomachs include things like boat propellers, license plates, tires. My personal favorite, the shark that the graduate students found at UH, which had a cash box in his stomach full of $100 bills. Now these stupid jokes about loan sharks I have to listen to after that. But did that junk kill the shark? What do you think?
Yeah.
No.
Probably not. No.
Because if the shark should ingest trash items that cannot be digested, all they have to do, unlock their lower jaw, unhinge their upper jaw, flip their stomach inside out like a trash bag, dump out all the junk that can't be digested, then they re-swallow their stomachs, reset their jaws, and they're ready to go again. Now this is called stomach aversion. We've seen it happen once or twice a year, not a pretty sight. Just like this is a pretty sight, but let's get one of our largest females. We can tell it's a female because of the 2 square fins right there.
Oh my God. That's
There's a male, long claspers, female, no claspers. Next, guys, right on cue. A little late though. Generally, females are bigger than males in the shark and ray world as well because the females do bear the young. So, yeah, so stomach aversion, sometimes even the rays can do this, but generally we'll only do it if they get something indigestible in their stomach. Now, we have seen it happen once or twice in here. It's not pretty, but many of our divers have stated for quite a while they really wish that they could do the same thing. Rule number 4. Why, oh why then, after all these factors are taken into account, why is it that people still get bitten by sharks every now and then anyway? Well, take a look at the scuba diver on the graphic board behind you there. Tell me, in that black wetsuit with flippers, what kind of animal does he sort of look like? What if I were a surfer on top of a surfboard like this, arms and legs sticking out? What does that look like? Turtle. Board being the shell, arms and legs, flippers. Now, unfortunately, the average-sized human man is roughly the same size and shape of your average seal or sea turtle. Therefore, the average-sized human man can easily be mistaken for a seal or a turtle. Oh, by the way, ladies, did you notice how I kept saying average-sized human And there's a reason for that. Statistically speaking, men are 13 times more likely to be attacked by sharks than women. Now, if you're wondering why that is, it's because, well, I guess statistically speaking, men are 13 times more likely to do the things to get themselves attacked by sharks.
Yeah.